Alright, Bonehawks, so this video is all about my Kenshi matchup chart. People on Twitch already saying hello to YouTube. So this is going to, this is just my own opinion. We're going to get some opinions in the chat here on what you think. I've already created it, so I'm not going to go through character by character. I'm going to put it on screen. I'm going to talk about the ones that I think are kind of worth talking about. And that kind of thing. This assumes bouncing around cameos with Kenshi. You know, from as casual as a standpoint as I am at these days, I understand competitively enough to know that you're not gonna be playing just one cameo in this game, so. Alright, that's being said, let's get to it.
Accept your death.
So right off the bat here, we have 3 tiers. We have our 3-7 matchups. We've got our 4-6 matchups, and we've got our 5-5 matchups. In my opinion, Kenshi has no winning matchup. So yeah, so starting right off the bat, there's one in the 3-7 matchup that I think I would be open to probably putting into 4-6, and that's Conan, because Conan just hits Quan twice and he dies. It doesn't matter really what cameo Conan's using. He's gonna hit us twice and die. That being said, we can zone him out fairly well. He has like a nice little anti-zoning reflect and that kind of a thing. But, you know, he's gonna hit you. That's the thing. Zoning in this game is just not strong enough, and especially if you put the Sub-Zero cameo on him. I mean, he's sacrificing some damage there, sure, but still. So I might be okay with putting him in like the 4-6 tier, perhaps. The other 3 are non-negotiable. Those are just not fun matchups for Quan. Cyrax, for obvious reasons, just has ways around it. Yes, you might be able to zone her, but you lose one trade and you're dead. You're just dead. That's just how that works. Havoc, same idea. You can maybe zone him. He's got some sneaky stuff around. He gets in with the proper cameos. Quan's forced to guess. 2 combos. That's your health bar. Smoke. If you've ever fought a Smoke as Kenshi, it's so annoying because Smoke is not a super duper strong character. Like, he's not like a top 5 character or anything, but everything he does is just so annoying for Kenshi. Like, actually just so annoying. And it really plays around his game plan. So a good patient Smoke that can react, yeah, that's going to be a hard time for Quan. One thing that you'll notice as soon as you kind of look at this in the whole is that the majority of the cast fits into the 4-6. And I think when a lot of people see like a 4-6 matchup, it's like, oh, that's the end of the world, you know, like, oh, he loses that matchup. It's like, no, it's like a slight advantage, because keep in mind, Kenshi does have the armor portal, which kind of makes up for some of his weaknesses, but it's not his be all end all. He still doesn't have like super true mix unless he has tremor. But I mean, everyone has tremor, so that's kind of evens out the playing field a little bit there, right? And characters with more true mix against characters like Quan, that's where things kind of become troublesome. But for the most part, you know, like, there are some stronger characters like that I have in the 4-6, because Quan does have a bit of an advantage over them, like say Takeda, Sindel, T1000, for example. T1000's main weakness is getting zoned, and Quan can actually do that fairly well against him. Obviously, if he gets in, it's GG's, shake my hand. But like, yeah, you know, Quan does have a pretty good way of keeping him out, and it's actually one of the few matchups where the push-away portal is pretty beneficial. Young Quan's against the T1000. Homelander, same idea. Homelander has some tricky stuff. Quan has some ways around that. You know, he can zone him, keep him away. He doesn't really care about, you know, the push-away portal against Homelander is actually super huge, because the only kind of the main play around it is that you can like wave dash through it, but Homelander doesn't want to do that. He wants to bully his way in. That being said, he can in some instances jump and just teleport over, but he's not really going to hit you on the way down. He's more just going to land in front of you, and then it's up to Quan what he wants to do after that. So we're going to take some questions from the comments here. So Low-key, Baraka 3-7. That was another one that was on the fence for me. Baraka is super duper annoying, but again, he does get zoned out. So if Quan Chi can play his game effectively, can keep him at bay. If Baraka can play his gameplay effectively, he's in. It's a classic zoner versus rushdown matchup, which is why I have it as a 4-6 and not a 3-7. You know, we still probably do lose that matchup, but it's not going to be a steamroll in the sense of the word. Also, Koala Bear Khan, constant critic of me, says, "Can you explain Kenshi a little? Is it mainly armor portal with Sento?" Yes. I think that, especially since Sento got nerfed, Kenshi is not as scary as he once was. Kind of similar to the Baraka matchup, is like, but not as extreme, because we can zone Kenshi out a little bit better, and especially because once we get in, if we do manage to get the armor portal up, it's one of those things where you're trying to zone Kenshi, and if Kenshi kind of starts to creep on in, you just throw up the armor portal. Just throw it up. And all of a sudden, Sento is kind of just negated. If you don't do that, then yeah, it's still a problem. But if you have the wherewithal to zone correctly, play your neutral game, when you see that Kenshi has a chance at maybe getting in, throw that up. Or if he does like his projectile immune charge, using the negative frames off the charge to just throw up the armor portal. So then he's closed the distance, but you're armored. So even if he does manage to get Sento up, you still have, again, it's even. I have it not as winning. Quan does not beat Kenshi. It is pretty even. So I'm trying to look at this and think of any other characters that might be kind of controversial. Most of the 4-6, if you kind of look in there, are mainly just because it's a very clear cut and dry. I can zone you. You know, you can get in on me. Their up close game and their ways of getting in are stronger. Omni-Man's a good example. The Omni-Man has like all these teleporting moves. That's like, he has so many ways to get in on Quan. That's like, yeah, you can keep him out, but you have to really like outplay the character. Tanya is one who's kind of on the weaker side of the characters, but because Quan is so slow, if she can get in, yeah, her up close game is better than Quan's zoning game. And then the 5-5s are kind of like fairly even. Shang is one that's like, it seems like it should be in like Quan's favor, but Shang can just morph into Quan and do a mirror match with more damage. So that kind of part of it makes it kind of Eevee. Reptile Movano is super duper annoying. Do I think it wins? Not necessarily. And Reiko, it's like a truck. I think the closest to a winning matchup we have is Rain, but Rain's rushdown has been like buffed quite a bit and is actually pretty good against Quan. Not good enough for me to put him in the 4-6 category of things, but good enough that, you know, it doesn't put you into a losing matchup. And I agree with you, Koala. Other than Wraith, no Shang is putting in the work to learn all the different characters to put in that. But I do have to consider that somebody might, and I have to factor that into my decision making. So if Shang did not have the ability to morph into Quan, that would probably be a winning matchup for Quan. But unfortunately, you have to use these kind of technicalities when coming up with a matchup chart, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. So other than that, everything else I think is pretty straightforward. Most of the characters that you see in 5-5 are characters that can be zoned a little heavier than they can get in. Maybe they don't have the best tools to get in. Raiden might be one that's kind of on the exception, because he does have like the teleport and the Superman. Superman I find usually is pretty easy to armor break, and then the teleport is a full combo punish if you read it. So I don't feel that's too much of a threat. But yeah. This is just for the current patch. We do know that a patch is coming after Evo. It is currently the 24th of July right now. So this is just my matchup chart for then. Next season, next patch, this could all change. Also, Ed Boon was on the record saying that if this next patch was the last one, it would be very unlikely. So more changes will come. So if you're watching this in the future, hello from the past. I am now much older and less young and cute as I am in this video. So that's great. But yeah. If you have any comments, any things you want to chime in on, anything you think I'm out to lunch on, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, just wanted to share my matchup chart before we get another update. Because yeah, I've played all these matchups pretty extensively, and you know what? I might think about moving Sector up to the 3-7 as well. If I could switch Sector and Conan now that I look at it, maybe that might be the case. But let me know what you think. Feedback is always appreciated. So, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.